Good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Welcome to your Tuesday editorial analysis. My name is Savitri Krishnamurty. I teach English and Logic at BYJU'S. For today's editorial analysis, I have picked up an editorial from the Hindu. Now, this was an interesting editorial. It's about the Uniform Civil Code. The Uttarakhand Assembly, generally it is the parliament that is expected to pass the bill or not pass the bill, but the Uttarakhand Assembly has adopted the Uniform Civil Code and the editor of the Hindu has commented on it. Actually, there were a lot of editorials. I picked this up because it was short enough to be covered in a session. All right. As usual, I'll give you about 30 to 40 seconds to read the slide. Then I'll summarize it for you. Try to read it quickly. Your time starts now. All right. So what does the first slide say? A Uniform Civil Code or UCC is a desirable and progressive goal for a secular country. However, mere uniformity without making allowances for diverse cultural and social practices may not be ideal. Yes, we need a uniform civil code, but we also have to take into account that there are diverse social and cultural practices and we cannot ignore that. The UCC adopted by the Uttarakhand Assembly aims to consolidate the laws relating to marriage. Now, different communities have different laws related to marriage. What the Uttarakhand Assembly has done is try to consolidate these laws related to marriage, divorce, succession among all communities. The state has become the first since pre-independence Goa to adopt a uniform civil code for civil matters. So this is where it has become a trendsetter. What is particularly violative of the constitution? Now here the editor is saying that this UCC is not aligned with our constitutional provision. It violates certain constitutional provisions. What violates it? What is particularly violative of the constitution is the bizarre portion in this UCC aiming to formalize live-in relationships through registration. Live-in relationships are part of the modern day trend. Some people do that. And what the Uniform Civil Code passed by Uttarakhand Assembly has done is it says live-in relationships should be registered. This unwanted incursion into citizens' personal life is worsened by the prescription of a 3-month prison term for non-registration. So basically what's it saying? If a couple wants to live together, they have to register. If they don't register within 3 months, if they don't register, they will have to serve 3 months in prison for non-registration. It will expose citizens to intrusive inquiry, social hostility, and pointless deprivation of liberty. The editor says this is not correct. This goes against individual liberty. It will, while it contains certain positive features, it means the Uniform Civil Code contains certain positive features such as conferring legitimacy on children born of live-in relationships and mandating maintenance in the event of desertion. The very idea that people living together should submit themselves to registration and verification is repugnant to individual rights. According to the editor, this part of the law which says that people who are living together without getting married should register themselves or go to prison is against personal liberty of the individual. When the constitution makers made the adoption of a UCC one of the directive principles, opinion was divided on whether a UCC will undermine minority rights or promote equal status for women in all religions. Now read the second slide. Again, I'll give you 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds. All right. So what does it say? It say when the constitution makers decided whether to adopt a uniform civil code or not, opinion was divided. B.R. Ambedkar felt that the UCC, if enacted, should be voluntary in the initial stages. Good afternoon, Roshan. The previous law commission had said that the UCC is neither desirable nor necessary. So you see there's a lot of conflict on this issue. Should we have a UCC? Should we not have a UCC? Is it good? Is it not? B.R. Ambedkar said it should be voluntary. Law commission, the earlier law commission said we don't need it. It's not necessary. And it suggested that instead of having a uniform civil code, each body of personal law should delete those provisions which are regressive or discriminatory against women. However, the present law commission has revived the idea and has started gathering views from the public. They are doing a thorough analysis. They are taking in views from people. What do you want? Do you want the uniform civil code? If yes, what do you want to be included in it? What do you want? So, a debate is on in the nation on this issue. All right. Much of the Uttarakhand code seems to have been borrowed from existing laws on marriage and succession, but with significant omissions. For instance, the code is the only avenue for dissolving a marriage and there is no waiting period to remarry after a divorce, nor is there any need for a woman to marry another person before she can remarry her former husband. So all these conditions which are seen as obstructing liberty, certain things like a woman can't marry another person before she marries her former husband, these provisions have been removed. These provisions, which eliminate the concept of iddat, talaq and nikah halal, are all progressive and further individual rights. So there are certain provisions which are considered regressive against women's rights. They have been removed and they are seen as protecting and promoting women's or individual rights. Interestingly, it preserves the existing provision allowing custom and usage as an exception to the bar on marriage within prohibited degrees of relationship, but adds a rider that such custom cannot be against public policy or morality. So this is the ambiguous part, where it says, okay, sometimes custom and usage can be used for any provision on marriage in this act, but that custom and tradition that you cite should not be against public policy or morality. Once you introduce a condition like this, it gives rise to a lot of ambiguity and loopholes are therefore, people take advantage of these loopholes, which the editor hasn't mentioned. But he has mentioned an unfortunate fallout of this, a result, a consequence of this is that a polarizing discourse is taking shape in the run-up to the general election. So now we have a debate in the country, but it is dividing the country. It is polarizing the country, dividing it into opposite poles, these provisions. And this is just before the general elections. The concept of justice should not be lost in the search for uniformity. Author says uniformity, uniform civil code, all that is fine. But remember, justice is the most important concept. So the concept of justice should not be lost in the search for uniformity, which should be no more than an incidental consequence of equality. If you have equality, uniformity will automatically come in. All right, understood? Let's read the questions, answer the questions quickly, and then we'll discuss. If the questions are all easy, but if you feel that you need to go back to the passage, or if I feel that you need to go back to the passage, I'll show you the relevant part of the passage. Again, it's a very short editorial, and therefore you may not need to go back to the passage again. Which of the following is the author most likely to agree with? Generally, these most likely to agree with questions should be in line with the author's main point. All right. Uniformity is a precursor of equality. Equality is more important than justice. Justice is the most important concept, or justice and equality are mutually exclusive concepts. What is the correct answer? Give me your answer, A, B, C, or D, and quickly. Precursor means what happens before. So uniformity is a precursor of equality, means uniformity comes first and then equality follows. Is that the correct answer? No, the author says if the system has equality, uniformity will naturally follow. Therefore, A is not the correct answer. Equality is more important than justice goes against the last line where he says justice is more important than uniformity, and uniformity will automatically follow if there is equality in a system. Justice is the most important concept. That is the correct answer. Justice and equality are mutually exclusive. You know what's the meaning of mutually exclusive? Means one is there, the other is not there. That is not correct. He says if there is equality, uniformity follows, but justice is more important than either. And justice is related to equality. It is not such that if there is justice, there is no equality. Right? So the answer is C. The author's main point in the article is that we've read the passage. He talked about the Uniform Civil Code adopted by the Uttarakhand Assembly. He talks of the provisions that certain aspects are good, certain aspects are not good. At the end, he says, but you should remember that the omissions and other things have led to a polarizing debate. Justice is more important than anything else. That is the main thing that he's saying. So, which of the options best sums up the author's main point? The search for uniformity in laws is futile. Did he say, why are you looking for uniformity? You can't have uniformity. No, that's an extreme question. There can be no justice without uniformity. That means uniformity is more important than justice, but the author says the exact opposite. He says justice is more important. It is paramount. Uniformity is just a consequence of equality. Therefore, 2 contradicts what the author says. A uniform civil code is desirable. He said that in the first line, but it should not supersede justice. So, this is the correct answer. Justice is a consequence of uniformity, the other way around. All right, so the correct answer is C. I don't know why all turn into A's and A and B. All right. What is the assumption in the following lines from the passage? What is an assumption? In any statement, if you are asked the assumption, an assumption is something that is taken for granted by the person who makes the statement. So when the author says, an unfortunate fallout of all this is a polarizing discourse taking shape in the run-up to the general election, what is he taking for granted? What are the facts which are hidden in the statement? That is the implicit assumption. He is not saying it, but in his mind, these facts are there because of which he is making this claim. An unfortunate fallout of all this is a polarizing discourse taking shape in the run-up to the general elections. Now, what facts can you find out from this sentence? That fallout of what? The omissions and provisions of the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. So the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code has had some unfortunate consequences. That's a fact. That is what the author is saying. It has given rise to a polarizing discourse. It has given rise to a debate where people are on two sides. People are against each other. People have gone to opposite poles. They have opposite views on this. Yes. And that there is a general election that's going to happen. Right now, we are just before a general election. All three. There is a general election in the near future, only then you would use the word run up to the general elections. The provisions of the Uttarakhand UCC have unfortunate consequences. Fallout means nothing but consequences. The UCC may lead to a polarizing discourse, has led to a polarizing discourse. Both are correct. Therefore, the correct answer is D. Okay. All right. Question 4. Read the following statement. What is particularly violative of the Constitution, means what violates the Constitution, is the bizarre portion. Bizarre means baffling, strange portion in this UCC aiming to formalize live-in relationships through registration. Okay, so what can you infer from it? Inference means which of the following statements is 100% true based on what is given. What he has said is that the UCC has violated the Constitution with this particular provision. Correct? What provision is it? The provision to formalize live-in relationships through registration. Correct? All right. The UCC adopted by the Uttarakhand Assembly is progressive, forward-looking? No. Some provisions of the UCC adopted by the Uttarakhand Assembly are violative of the Constitution. That's what he says. That it goes against the Constitution. The Constitution offers you full liberty. There are personal laws on marriage, divorce and all, but the Constitution gives full liberty. That means, according to the Indian Constitution, there should be no necessity for anyone having a live-in relationship to register the live-in relationship. They are free to do so. If they are adults, they are free to do so. Yes, there may be cultural constraints, but the Constitution doesn't say anything. Therefore, the Constitution of India has a provision to formalize. No. That is why the provision of the UCC is violative of the Constitution. If the Constitution had a provision on formalizing live-in relationship, then the author wouldn't have said it goes against the Constitution. Therefore, the correct answer is obviously B. Good. All right, next question. The meaning of the word consolidate. So, in what context has he used it? Let's go back to the passage and see. There. The UCC adopted by the Uttarakhand Assembly aims to consolidate the laws related to marriage, divorce and succession among all communities. So, what is the meaning of consolidate? As used, that it aims to consolidate laws related to marriage, divorce and succession among all communities. So different communities have different laws related to marriage, divorce and succession, and this aims to bring it together. So what does consolidate mean, therefore? Contextual meaning of consolidate. Augment, merge, console, mitigate. Console means to say something to make you feel. Let's say you're crying and I say don't cry. Then I'm consoling you, to express sympathy, to tell you things will become better, to give a reassurance. So it cannot be console. Got it? Mitigate means to improve. Mitigate means actually to lessen. Okay, mitigate the sufferings of the poor. Merge is the correct answer. Consolidate means to put together, to merge. Okay, so what are they trying to do? Different communities have different laws. So the Uniform Civil Code of Uttarakhand is trying to put these together. Augment means to increase. Okay, so why is somebody taking tuitions? To augment her income, to add to her income. Got it? Yes. So therefore, merge is the right answer. Good. The synonym of repugnant in the context of the passage. Let's go and where he uses the word repugnant. Remember in contextual vocabulary, where did I thought I underlined? Where is that word? Here it is. All right, got it? So, it said that the very idea that people with live-in relationship should register themselves is repugnant to individual rights. So, what is the meaning of repugnant? Repugnant to individual rights. The fact that you have to register, if there is a couple living together, they have to register, and this provision is repugnant to alluring, appealing, repulsive, refulgent, disgusting. Sonu has said correct. Which word here is a synonym of disgusting? Which word among the options is a synonym of disgusting? Yeah, A, B, C or D. Quickly give me the answers. Roshan, Sonu and others. Repulsive. To repel is to push away. So repulsive. Okay. Alluring means something that attracts you, tempting, appealing. Refulgent means radiating light, glowing. Okay, so the correct answer is C, repulsive. Excellent. All right. So, because Maharashtra CET is round the corner, I'm doing lot of contextual vocabulary. That is, Maharashtra CET, you have passages which have 4 or 5 RC questions. We are done with that. This will help you in any aptitude test. But in the next few classes, I'll be doing more of vocabulary and grammar so that it will help you overall in your preparation. It will help you with any aptitude test, especially the non-CAT ones. What is the meaning of the word rider as used in the passage? Now remember, there is the word rider, you will immediately say, why is she asking such a easy word? So the common usage of rider is, has the author used the word rider in the way it is commonly used, or does he use it in some other sense? The code mentions a law but adds a rider that such custom cannot be against public policy. You can use custom as an exception to a particular provision of the law, but adds a rider that such custom that you are using to as an exception to the law cannot go against public policy or morality. So what is the meaning of the word rider here? Adds a rider. A condition added to something already agreed upon. A person who is riding or who can ride a horse, a person who is riding a bicycle or motorcycle, or all of the above. What do you think is the contextual meaning of rider? A, B, C or D? Quickly give me your answers. Sonu says A. Roshan, what do you say? What do the others say? The names are small. I'm not able to see very clearly from here. Harshil also says A. Excellent. A condition added to something already agreed upon. A stipulation. All right, that's the rider. It does not mean a horse rider or a bike rider. All right. Which of the options best explains the following line? So this is a very common question that is asked in any of the aptitude tests, CAT, non-CAT exams. They give you a line and sum it up in other words, okay? The concept of justice should not be lost in the search for uniformity, which should be no more than an incidental consequence of equality. These are the last lines of the passage. What does the author mean by it? One shouldn't forget the due importance of uniformity and equality in the quest for justice. The concept of justice should not be undermined in the search for uniformity. Uniformity is the consequence of equality, and equality and uniformity and justice are two sides of the same coin. What do you think the author is saying? The same thing that has been said, the last few lines, we've just rephrased it. Which one rephrases it correctly? That will show how well you've understood that line, because that's the main point of the author, right? The last few lines sums up the author's message, which is what? A, B, C, or D. Harshil says B. What about the others? Quick, guys. Harshil says B. Do you think he's correct or not? One shouldn't forget the important. Okay, Sonu Mandal also says it's B. It is B. Undermined means weakened. Justice is more important. Of course, uniformity is important. But remember, justice is the most important concept. Do not sacrifice justice at the altar of uniformity. Therefore, B is the right answer. Excellent. All right. You've read this sentence in the passage before. Okay. But generally, this is what test question setters do. Okay, either they use the wrong one and tell you that they take a sentence from the passage. I have taken the sentence and just removed the preposition. This is a good test of prepositions, because in one sentence I had 4 prepositions that I could test you on and decide which is the right one. The UCC adopted dash the Uttarakhand Assembly aims dash consolidate the laws dash marriage, divorce and succession dash all communities. When you are given this question, read the first one, read the look at the prepositions and insert. Now, if you're sure for the first one yahi hona chahiye, then you have your answer. You only look at those options which have your preposition as the first one. All right. Okay, I'm getting different answers. Please give the question number, easier for me. I'm Chetan says C, Sonu says D, Pratigya says C, Harshil says C, lots of them for C. Any other answer? The UCC adopted. Now an assembly adopts it, therefore it has to be by. You aim to do something, right? Laws relating to marriage among all communities. Therefore, it is C. Excellent. Very happy with the answers. All right. Okay. Let's test one more question on grammar. All right. I've taken a sentence from the passage. Okay. I may have taken it as it is given in the passage. I might have changed something. I don't know. But it's been taken from the passage. However, mere uniformity without making reasonable allowances for diverse cultural and social practices among different social community groups may not be ideal. This underlined part I have rephrased in 4 different. The first one is as it is. Okay, generally exams do that, but non-CAT exams, they do whatever they want. Sometimes that correct one is rephrased in as the last option. Because Maharashtra CET has 5 options, so generally none of the above is given as option A sometimes, and it bothers me a lot when that happens. All right. Which do you think, A, B, C, or D? Which one? Give me the question number, okay? 10, and then give me A, B, C, D. Which one has been expressed correctly in terms of grammar? Which of the, okay, Sonu thinks it's B. Remember, when there is an underlined part, Sonu, the part before it is equally important because this is a preposition. So this word is the important word for deciding what word do I use there, okay? Otherwise, you're likely to make a mistake. So read the entire sentence and decide. Allowances for diverse cultural and social practices, allowances to diverse social cultural practices. Now remember, your dad and mom gave you pocket money. We say he gave the monthly allowance to his daughter. But here the allowance that he's talking here means concessions, allowances, what do you call it? Dheel, na? Something, my Hindi is very bad. Certain things I'll say, okay, you're my student, I'll let you, I'll make something easy for you. So I can give you some concessions. So usme for hoga ki to hoga. That is what you should remember. So allowance to nahi hoga, it should be allowance for. I will make allowances for you because I know you. Understood? You understood that. So that is the key here. That's what I'm trying to explain. Next time when I give you a preposition question, that's what you should see first. What is the word used here? Read the entire sentence. So making allowances for diverse social cultural practices. Okay, यहाँ पे practice है, it should be practices because we are not talking of one practice. Among different social groups. Between is only for two. Among is more. Therefore, the correct answer is yes, the passage gave it correct. I also did not change the passage. All right. Okay. That one. All right. In the run-up to the general election, Jasprit Bumrah has a long run-up. Spin bowlers have a short run-up. Okay. Run-up. He has run up a big debt. What is the meaning of run-up to the elections as it is used in the passage? Does it mean allow a debt to accumulate? I owe you money. And every time I keep borrowing from you, but I don't return anything, then I'm allowing my debt to accumulate and become bigger and bigger. Make something quickly. I'll run up something for you. A period immediately preceding an event, or all of the above. What is the meaning of run up as it is used in the passage? Had they asked what are the different uses for run up, Pratima, had he asked what are the different uses of run up, D is correct. But he is not asking, or rather I am not asking what are the different meanings of run up. You have to make sure he is only asking the contextual meaning. यहाँ पे debt कहाँ है? Who took? Here he has used the word run up to the general elections. India is going to have general elections this year? Yes? No? So having this uniform civil code now just before the general election. That's why the budget is called the interim budget, because general elections are there. The same government may come back in all likelihood it will, but they cannot have, they call it the interim budget. So what is the meaning? The run up to the elections aane wale hain. So run up to the elections is the period before. A and B are other meanings of run up. So look up the dictionary. This is your homework. Look up your dictionary. See the just type in run up idiom or phrasal verb. You will get all the meanings, and that is important because you will be tested on phrasal verbs. So you cannot sit and learn things by heart. The best way to get acquainted with phrasal verbs is the moment you come across this, आज के लिए ये पढ़ लिया. You go look it up, look at different sentences. Next time somebody asks you, you will say that there are various meanings of run up, but in this passage it means this. Correct? You won't make this mistake again. I'll catch you if you make the mistake. All right, so that is the meaning of run up. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the class. It was good to see so many answers coming in. I'll be back next Tuesday with another editorial, and we will analyze it with same 4 or 5 RC questions, a few grammar questions, and a few vocabulary questions. All right, if any of you've taken CAT and you want to see your CAT college predictor, go to this form, fill in your background, fill in your percentile, and you will be told what would be the college that is you're most likely to get into, given your background, given your score. Also, if you have any inquiries, any doubts about our courses, what is there in it for you, CAT, non-CAT, what can I do now, do fill up this form. One of our counselors will talk to you. He'll give you a excuse me, a one-on-one talk where they will look at your background and tell you what is the ideal course for you. Just give me a minute. Let me take a swig of water. Most often what happens, CAT is 1 month away and you decide, oh, I want to start preparing for CAT. You are not being fair to yourself, because suppose you are from a humanities or commerce background, your quantitative skills are not that good, your English and other parts are good, then a counselor will tell you 1 month is not enough for you, maybe you should take a 3-month or 6-month course. So those are the things you should know before you get into any course. So do fill that form up and talk to our counselors, at least to know what you can do, right? Or what are the courses we have for you. Also, we are there on every channel of social media. Join any one or all of them so that you get notifications of all our YT app classes, the courses that we are running for different exams. All right. So I will see you again next week, same time, Tuesday, 12 o'clock with an editorial for analysis. It's a linguistic analysis. It will help you with your reading comprehension. Join exactly at 12. Give me a heads up saying I'm here. So then I will give you the necessary time to read. 40 seconds for a slide I think is good, but some may need 5 more seconds. So do let me know what works for you, right? I will see you again next week, same time. Until then, do look at the other sessions that we have. Bye-bye and take care.